have your hat on. Different hat.
No, it's the white hat.
Here he is. Raging.
There it is.
Jay, you said that section was good?
Yeah, it was nice.
Good run. How deep is he now? 70?
What?
He's at 70?
72?
72?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Maybe even a little more. I think it was 72 at the bottom, so I think we're at 77.
Awesome.
He's doing good. He's moving strong. It's a little cold at the moment.
Might be, buddy.
Run Rabbit Run is a 100-mile run in Steamboat Springs, Colorado that has about 20,000 feet of elevation gain. And even though it's advertised as a 100-miler, it actually is about 105, 106 miles. The course starts at the Steamboat ski area with a 3,600-foot climb to the top of Mount Werner before coming down into town along the Fish Creek Falls Trail. You then head out on a couple gentle climbs and descents through Emerald Mountain before coming through town again and heading back up Fish Creek Falls to Summit Lake. From there you have a long descent down the Buffalo Pass Road and Spring Creek Ponds Trail, and then you turn around and retrace your steps up the 13-mile climb back to Summit Lake. Then you roll along at about 10,000 feet for 15 miles or so, before the final 6-mile, 3,600-foot descent to the finish at the ski area. This was my first 100-mile run. I'd done a lot in the sort of 30 to 50-mile range. I'd run San Juan Solstice a couple times. I actually ran the Run Rabbit Run 50-mile race back in 2012, and that was my first 50. But this was my first 100, so I didn't really know how I was going to go. I had a great crew of about 8 friends, crew and pacers, who were all there at different times throughout the 2 days, which is a really big help because it gives you something to look forward to when you're coming into the aid station. It also is nice to have an extra set of eyes when you're out there on the course to make sure you're going the right way. It's nice to have people at the aid station to kind of remind you, put on sunscreen or make sure you have your headlamp as you're leaving for the night. Things like that. It's just the moral support of having friends around is huge. Yeah, so things really started to unravel at Dry Lake the second time through, around mile 70, 75. I think that I had really been trying to keep things together for most of the day, and most of the day it had been okay. But as I got into the evening and got into the later miles, was doing a lot to keep moving and try and keep moving at a good pace, and also keep my head in a good space and try and keep the positive talk coming through and not letting a lot of the negative self-talk creep in. And then that sort of out and back piece down Spring Creek Ponds. Going down was okay, but coming up was the first time that things had really started to feel difficult. And then I finally got into the aid station and I think just had a moment where I needed to sit down and somebody was in the way, and I kind of very inconsiderately kind of grabbed them and moved them out of the way and just sat down on the in the chair, and I put my head down and I started to cry, and I don't know if everybody on the crew recognized that, but I just sort of broke down and had this moment of vulnerability, I guess, of feeling like I didn't need to keep everything in. And so I had my head down for maybe a minute, and then was still crying, but started to untie my shoes and started to take some steps and talk to people and figure out what I needed to do to get up and keep going up that climb.
Alright, mile 96.4. Here we are. Last aid station.
Those last 25 miles were really hard, but I feel really good about how it all went. It's hard for me to look back at those moments from mile 75 to 100 where I just wanted to be finished, and it slowed down quite a bit, and to say, oh yeah, like all the day was great, because really from the beginning to mile 75 or so, I felt really good. I was moving well and didn't have any stomach issues, and generally was in a pretty positive mindset. Because I do have to kind of step away from that and look at the big picture and be like, well, yeah, even though I did have that rough patch for about 25 miles and really most of the day Saturday, overall it went fantastically. Especially for my first 100-mile run.